evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. You see, I caught you. It's not good evening. It's good morning. You see? Everybody need to wake up. All right, I'm not going to spend too much time. Can everybody hear me? Okay. My dear brother, thank you, Dr. Akil. Thank you. You recognize the ancestors, so I won't waste my 7 minutes on that. But I just also want to use this opportunity to thank everybody in the room. I must first acknowledge those who came before us, those ancestors, the known and the unknown, the ones whose names were erased, the ones whose bones lie in the Atlantic, the ones who resisted, the ones who survived, the ones who prayed us into existence. So let us give them a round of applause quickly, please. Distinguished elders, respected dignitaries, I'm so sorry, they told me 7 minutes, I don't want to waste any time. Distinguished elders, respected dignitaries, honored guests, organizers of this Congress, colleagues, and my brothers and sisters of the African world, I greet you with deep respect, and I thank the conveners of the Pan-African Congress for the invitation and for the labor that made this gathering possible. It is an honor to stand before you. I am not here as a politician or a theorist. I am here as a black African man, a member of the global African family, a filmmaker, an educator, a father, an entrepreneur, and a Pan-Africanist in practice, not just in language. I have spent my life traveling across this continent, between Nigeria, Benin, and Togo. And what I noticed more importantly is seeing every day when I crossed the border how African people were solving very, very simple problems. They didn't use a big computer. They didn't use a big, AI. They solved these problems using their own senses. And this is where I want to be very, very direct with everybody. We have become very good at talking about liberation. We have not become equally good at owning it. We dominate culture, but not capital. We dominate sound, fashion, and narrative, but no platforms. We dominate consumption, but not production at scale. So yes, I'm a Pan-African, but I'm also unapologetically pro-black economics. Because without economic power, political power is permission-based. And permission can always be withdrawn. In 1919, our ancestors gathered under colonial terror to demand self-determination. Today, the battlefield has changed, but not the intention. Our chains today are largely financial, educational, psychological, and technological. You no longer dominate a people with guns. You dominate them with debt, with creative control, platform ownership, supply chain dependency, narrative licensing. So the real question for us today, in 2025 at this conference, is are we Pan-African? The real question also is, are we structurally independent? Because unity without infrastructure is only emotion. Pride without production is only performance. Symbolism without systems is only decoration. Pan-Africanism must now mature from philosophy of resistance into a program of construction. We must build black-owned production, black-owned logistics, black-owned platforms, black-owned capital networks, black-owned education systems, black-owned technological infrastructure. You see, no people in the world, no people in history have ever outsourced their liberation. I personally work in film, and we tell stories about Africa. But very often, sometimes, somebody far away from Africa is deciding which films get made, which films are bankable. I also work in fashion. I see how African fabrics and African aesthetics, African labor, is also outsourced. We cannot continue to export raw genius and import finished power. And now, I would like to say something very uncomfortable, with love, of course. Pan-Africanism is not being delayed only by the external systems. It is also being delayed by our internal fragmentation, our ego, our short-term thinking, our mistrust, and yes, our performance culture. We are excellent at hashtags. We are less consistent with balance sheets. And we are very loud online also, by the way. We are sometimes very silent in ownership. Colonialism taught us extraction, but disunity still sustains it. We cannot build black wealth on individual hero economics. We cannot build African power on celebrity culture. We cannot build sovereignty using frameworks that were never designed for us to win. So when I say I'm pro-black, I'm not speaking from anger, I'm speaking from strategy. Pro-black means I bank black, I hire black, I train black, I circulate black currency, and I build black institutions. This is not extremism, ladies and gentlemen. That is economic self-defense. Now I'm looking at the time, I know I don't have much, so let me just try and speed this up very quickly. I want to speak to the youth, and I don't see many youth here, but those who are watching online and hopefully will watch later. Your enemy is not only racism, it is also distraction. Your enemy is dependency. Your enemy is the illusion that visibility equals power. It doesn't. Power is not followers, it's not likes, it's not leverage. And leverage built through skills, ownership, long-term thinking, collective discipline, financial literacy, and political literacy is what's more important. So this continent does not lack talent. We lack a coordinated execution at a continental stage. Every empire that collapsed first collapsed psychologically, and every people who rose first liberated their thinking before they liberated their territory. So Pan-Africanism today must operate on 3 levels simultaneously: psychological liberation, economic liberation, institutional liberation. Anything less than this is activism without architecture. Everybody say activism without architecture. Louder, activism without architecture. We're not awake yet, but don't worry, time is coming. I did not come here today simply to inspire you, and I really just came here to challenge you, and also to challenge myself. If you control capital, you need to think about who you are funding. If you control media, you need to think about the narratives you are scaling. If you control land, you need to think about the institutions that you are putting on that land. If you are in the diaspora, what structures are you building back home? Not with emotion, not with sending money through Western Union. What are you building economically back home? Because the new Pan-Africanist is not only a speaker, the new Pan-Africanist is a builder. The new Pan-Africanist is not only a critic, he's a constructor. She is a constructor. Not only a protester, but a producer. The next frontier of black power will not only be in the streets, it will be in the boardrooms, it will be in the ports, the data centers, the factories, the classrooms, the energy grids. And I will close here. Pan-Africanism is no longer a dream to admire. It is an assignment that every single person in this room should execute. The ancestors cleared the bush. Our generation must build the city. Let it not be said that we spoke beautifully and built nothing. Let it be said that we transformed ideology into infrastructure. I thank you, I honor you, and I challenge everybody in here, including myself, to build what we keep talking about. And to the ancestors who watch over us, remind us every day what we fight for, and help us to not make the same mistakes that we made before. Ashe, Ashe.